Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Cold One with the Boys podcast. I want to apologize for early episodes with my mic, but you should no longer hear any crackling on my mic. I realize it may have been annoying, and I know Nathan didn't appreciate it.
It is the worst thing ever to listen to. Like one of the sticklers I am for podcasts is good audio, and I know I haven't been listening to them for too long. But me having to sit here and listen to you crackle while we're doing the interview, even though it's not coming out in the episode, just having to listen to it while we're recording just kills me. Like I feel like sticking screwdrivers through my ears. So I'm glad we finally got that out of the way so that the listeners don't have to listen to it anymore. Like I'm literally about to just buy you a different audio interface and just ship it to you via Amazon. I don't know what else to do.
Well, I got the problem fixed. And you should calm down with your fucking insults. I'm getting fucking tired of it. You should probably put that screwdriver in your ears and push it through so I can do this podcast by my fucking self. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we can do that. Okay. That's fine with me.
I'm just
I'll
kidding.
Just listen.
No, don't leave me. I can't be alone. Today we're talking to Tiffany, a.k.a. X ASAP Clutch X, or simply Clutch from Twitch. I said the ch sound like 16 times again. She's a new and upcoming streamer that enjoys RPGs and retro games. We talked to her about her fur babies and scale babies and her asshole rabbit Dusty. We also talked to her about Twitch TOS, retro gaming, and how much I dislike Final Fantasy. So sit back, relax, and open a cold one. So on your stream, do you go by Tiffany, or like do people call you Clutch most of the time?
Most of the time they call me Clutch.
Clutch, yeah. That's what I thought. Do you care if people call you Tiffany?
No, I don't care.
Well, that's good. So, okay. So I heard you.
Hey, you.
You'll respond to you.
Hey, you.
Like an Asian man. Your name's you.
Well, why you?
By the way, earlier when I was on your stream watching you play Nier Automata, when I got in the chat, you called me Asen.
Mm-hmm. Is it?
It's a son.
A son. Okay. I'm sorry.
I don't care.
I've only seen it written.
Don't worry. Like the first time me and Asen met was probably, I think I was in 5th grade, and it's a whole story on its own. But the first time he told me what his name was, I was like, I couldn't fathom what he was saying to me. He was like, yeah, my name's a sin. I was like a sin from the Bible? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to tell me. Like, I didn't get it. So it's funny. So I don't feel bad.
I'm an evil person.
He's Bulgarian. Fucking foreigners.
What is that supposed to mean? You
coming
bastard.
into my country.
Wow, I love this country. What the fuck? Oh yeah,
that's about sing the national anthem like Fergie did. We're all good.
Yeah, see, yeah, she knows what's up.
Yeah, earlier, what were you saying on your stream? Like, it's not patriotic or something. I don't know what you said.
Oh,
it was hilarious.
Gosh, I don't know what I said. I said a lot of people get offended because we're a very super patriotic country. And people get upset if you don't do something exactly the way they want it to represent the country. So I just was like, Fergie, you need to not be creative. Just do it and get off the stage.
Well, Nathan and I are wrapped in American flags right now. So if you're not being patriotic, and I'm super offended.
Absolutely.
Well, don't catch on fire. That's...
Yeah. I guess that's a good point. But I don't think there's anything flammable around me. Maybe my cat will scratch it until it freaking catches on fire.
Friction, that's how you start fires.
Yeah. So you have a few pets of your own, don't you?
I do. I have Artie. He is a Chow Chow. His birthday
like a full size chow?
Yeah, full size chow.
Nice.
He's got the blue tongue and everything. And he's going to be 5 years old on April 10th, which coincidentally is my birthday as well. So we celebrate on the same day. I get him a steak or something. Like, I mean, I don't give people food all the time, but for his birthday, it's a special occasion.
A 16-pound steak.
Yes.
16-pound steak? Yeah.
16 ounce.
More like an ounce.
16 ounces is a pound, so.
Is it? Oh, well, there shows my mathematics skills.
It's okay. We're on the imperial system, so I mean,
yeah.
Probably catch up and go with the metric system, but that wouldn't be patriotic now, would it be?
No. The thing is, I work in aerospace and everything is metrics.
Oh, wow.
So.
Oh, so you're fine. You're.
No, I'm not. That's the problem.
You're just un-American. You're just un-American is what it is.
That's what it
You're
is.
not imperial. You're not American.
I'm wearing the American flag and you're wearing like the European Union flag. I get it. It's cool.
Oh, wow. Don't lump me in with the European Unions.
You Brexit piece of no, I'm just kidding. So you have Artie the Chow Chow, which are really freaking furry dogs.
Yeah.
They're
he
cute
recently
as
got a
fuck.
haircut, so he looks weird. He's got a square head, and he doesn't think he looks weird, but every time he tries to run up to me when I open the door, I'm like, oh God, oh wait, that's you.
Is it kind of like a poodle shave? Like they shave it completely naked, or?
He's not completely naked. I was super sad because my dad took him to Petco and said, "Oh, I got him. I took him and got him a bath at Petco, and they gave him a haircut." And I was like, "Well, as long as they don't shave him because he's double coated, a double coated dog, you can't shave a double coated dog because their fur won't grow back properly."
Oops.
And he's like, no, it's just a trim. Well, I come back from Illinois and he's shaved. He looks like a Shiba or an Akita. So
hey, those are badass dogs. I like.
They are very
Akitas
cool.
and Shiba.
Yeah, but I'm used to him being all fluffy, and I like when I give him a bath, I blow dry his fur and make him. He's like my fur child.
Right.
It's like glorious hair waving in the hairdryer wind.
Oh yeah, especially when he goes for car rides, and he has his own seatbelt, by the way, because otherwise he'll jump out the window because he gets excited for car rides. And so I'll roll it down.
Go ahead.
I roll the window down for him, and he'll just look out the window, and his eyes are closed. He's just loving it, and then his fur is majestically blowing in the wind like Fabio, but like a dog.
Nice.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
We whenever we take our dogs on trips, it's usually only in my wife's car when she's with them by herself. But I have a big Doberman Lab. He weighs like 110 pounds, and he likes to ride in the front seat. Well, the newer cars have the seatbelt dinger. So if like you're sitting in the seat and the seatbelt's not plugged in, it sits there and dings. Well, he's so heavy, it thinks there's a human sitting in the car seat. And so she has to take the seatbelt and push it behind him. Otherwise, it sits there and dings the whole trip. But
oh, gosh.
That's pretty funny.
So do you have to sit in the back?
Typically, well, no, if we're riding together, like if we're going somewhere together, I will sit in the front seat and then he'll have to sit in the back. But she has this glorious job where she can take her dogs to work with her. And so every now and then she'll take them up there and they always ride in the front seat with her head sticking out the window. But yeah, she complains about it every time she comes back from work. Yeah, I have to stick the seatbelt in the thing. Otherwise the dinger goes off the whole time. So.
All right, so you have cute. Artie. What else do you have?
I have an asshole rabbit. His name's Dusty.
An asshole rabbit.
Yeah, he's not just a regular rabbit. He's an asshole rabbit. He is going to be...
What's his name again?
Dusty.
Dusty the asshole rabbit. All right.
And, I mean, when I got him, it was... They had like a sale for Easter, and he was so cute because he was so little, and he was fine for like the first couple of years of his life. I could hold him and let him run around, and then he just started biting every time I tried to pick him up. So now he just wants to bite, and I'm like, you know what? You can just stay in your little playpen, your little cage of shame, and that'll be the end of that. And then Artie just opened the door, so if you hear him in the background...
that's fine.
That's fine. So, okay. So does it, cause what I've heard is like rabbits can like take off a finger if they bite hard enough.
He hasn't bitten any fingers. Like, I'll hold him on my chest and he'll like bite around my neck, and I'm like, okay, that's time for you to go back. So
Oh, no.
he can break skin if he wants to. So that's why I'll pet him, but I won't pick him up.
Huh.
What
do you feed a rabbit? Like carrots?
Carrots could be like a treat for him. It's not really high in nutrients for him, so I give him alfalfa hay if he's feeling like he's not gaining enough weight. Alfalfa is very fattening hay. Or I'll get him, what's the other one? I just grab it from Walmart. It's not alfalfa, just regular hay for him. It has a name for it.
So they eat grass.
Pretty much grass, hay.
Gotcha.
And then
so it's like a little mini furry horse is what I'm getting out of it.
Pretty much, yeah. He just doesn't make any noise except for when he's like throwing a fit in his little play area.
Squeaks.
He thumps. If he like wants me to like look at him or pet him, come over and pet him, he'll thump his leg, and then I'll pet him, and then I'm like, what do you want? And he's got food, he's got his water, and he's just being angry. He's kind of like a little troll. He knows if I'm not looking at him, so.
You're not looking at me. You're not giving me attention.
So I'm going to be super loud.
So pretty much like a cat.
Oh, yeah. He makes a lot of noise. But he doesn't like squeak or anything because I was told they have vocal cords, but I was also told they don't have vocal cords. So like they can make little sniffing noises, but they can't really squeak or anything like that. So their way of showing their emotion is like they thump their leg if they're distraught, or with Dusty, he wants to get my attention. But yeah, he just likes to scratch and throw stuff. He'll pick up his toys and throw it.
So not to talk down to anybody that owns rabbits, because I have no problem with people that own rabbits. If you want to own a rabbit, that's fine.
Absolutely
but
not.
it's kind of like a rodent, right? Like it sits in a cage and thumps at you if it wants attention.
Yeah, it's
kind of like a guinea pig.
A robot. It's a rodent. But I mean, nothing against people who own rabbits. I've had friends who have rabbits, and they're the most adorable, docile, like pettable, lovable creatures that show affection. But Dusty, on the other hand, he's mean. He bites, and I don't know if that's his way of like showing affection. Maybe that's just the way he is. He's like,
right.
He's into that type of stuff. But as far as I know, he just does it because that's just
he's an asshole.
He's
Dusty the asshole rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past 5 minutes, we've called her rabbit a horse, a cat, and a rodent.
Hey, I mean, if the shoe fits, right?
I guess. All right, so you have a dog. You have a rabbit. What else you got?
I have a snake. His name is Bumblebee. Oh, he's the sweetest thing. If I'm wearing like a hoodie, I can take him out of his cage and he'll just go into my pocket. You know, the ones that have the single pocket in front. He'll go in there and hang out, or he'll hide underneath my hair because that's where it's warm. But I have never been bitten by Bumblebee, but I've been bitten by Dusty numerous times. So, I mean, if you want a snake, they don't bite.
What kind of snake is it?
He's a bumblebee ball python, hence the name, because I'm really great at making names for animals.
a bumblebee ball python?
Yes, correct. So he is yellow and black, and he has a specific pattern on him that qualifies him as a bumblebee. I don't think it has anything to do with his color. I could be wrong on that. But
wow.
I mean, yellow and black, that's bumblebee colors.
Yeah, so it fits.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like I've interacted with ball pythons before, and it's nice when you're like gaming. I don't know if you ever do it on stream, but like I remember having a ball python around my neck, and it would just massage you while you're gaming.
Oh, how cute! Bumblebee gets kind of adventurous because he's all like, "Oh, I'm out of my cage now, and I'm gonna go explore the table." And he'll like crawl around the table. I don't want to lose where he's at. But I do my best to keep Dusty and Bumblebee separated. They have their own separate rooms because I don't want Bumblebee to think, like, he could smell that Dusty is a rodent, so he might get the impression that he's food. So I just keep them kind of separated.
So do the pets, do they interact at all? Like, they obviously know that there's another animal or
Oh, yeah, for
reptile in
sure.
the house,
Mm.
so he doesn't try and eat it.
Neither Dusty or Artie interact with Bumblebee. He just kind of hangs out in his cage. Let's see. Artie's very protective over Dusty, but Dusty doesn't really care for Artie. He's just kind of like, oh, what is this thing?
Right.
I'm about to call a travel channel and like make a reality show out of this, like the adventures of all your pets and like defending territory and trying not to get eaten.
Artie's not, he doesn't want to eat Dusty. He just wants to check up. I think he thinks Dusty is like a small, weird puppy. And so he just kind of checks up on him and then he goes about his business. And if Dusty starts making noise, he thinks there's something wrong. So he checks on him and then he goes about doing his business.
Huh. So I had this discussion with the Sin actually earlier, but it kind of goes into the point of having rabbits. But like, what is the point of having a snake? Because like dogs, you get them, you can train them. They sleep with some people and all that kind of stuff. Like, what does a snake do? Because I've heard people say they give affection, but like, how do they give affection? They wrap around your hand and look at you? I don't get it.
Well, like, I like to think that he can recognize me by like my smell, because if I go over there and I open the cage, like open the doors, he'll come out and like try to come out of the cage, and so I can hold him and take him out and, you know, hold him, and he'll go up into my hair, like behind my neck, and he'll just hang out there. Or he just likes to like be around me, but he's super cute. He'll come up and check me out, look at me, and then he'll do that little like blah, blah, blah thing with his tongue. And
wait, one more time.
Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. That's a snake. I'm a sneaky snake. But their faces are really cute, and like they look like they have little puppy mouths, because it kind of
puppy mouths.
Yeah, because
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, you know how like a dog has their little jowl, so it comes like from a point at their nose, and then it comes back around. So a snake kind of like their lip splits almost by where their tip of their nose would be, and then it comes around, and it kind of looks like a little puppy nose, puppy mouth.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think snakes are cool as fuck. I just, I don't know if I'd like. Well, that's because you're inconsiderate European Union, dude. But
right.
But like snakes, I think are cool. They're a cool pet to have. But like, I don't know if I'd call them affectionate or like puppy-like or like. I wouldn't rather have it over a dog or a cat or anything.
True,
like that,
true. I went to a reptile show just to see what was going on, and I saw him in there, and I'm like, oh, I really like his colors, because he was super vibrant, like the really big contrast between the yellow and the black. So I got him. He wasn't cheap, but I got him, and he's been really cool. He doesn't need a huge cage, because ball pythons like to be in enclosed spaces, but he has a sizable, I want to say like a 20-gallon tank. Not like a fish, but it opens at the front. I don't know how to explain it. But he has his own little things to climb on in there, and he's kind of quirky, because he'll go up the wall in the back, and if I'm sleeping at night, I hear this big thump, and I'm like, what the fuck was that? Yeah, he'll climb up and fall off, and climb up and fall off, and I'm like, what are you doing in there, bud?
Is he a big snake, or is he gonna get bigger? Or
I think he's gonna get about 4 feet. No, the females get a lot bigger. The females get to be about 6 feet, I think, because the females are always bigger than the males. But
I'll pass.
No,
you're
missing
just
out.
a big old bitch, dude.
Dude, I guess I grew up like my whole family, like we don't do snakes. I don't do spiders. I don't know if I have arachnophobia, but like spiders and snakes are on the same level. Like there's some like garden snakes in the backyard once, and this is kind of like slander against my manhood, but I was mowing. There was a snake that came through the yard. I shut the mower off, went inside, went and got my wife, and I made Anna go out there and get the snake and get it out of the backyard. I just don't do snakes. Like I walked into somebody's house, they had a snake, and I walked out. I was like, no, I'm good. Like I don't know. I guess maybe it has something to do with growing up in the church. Like I was very religious growing up, and my parents are very religious, and I guess snakes are kind of like a sign of like sinful nature. So I don't know, maybe that's been ingrained into my brain, but I don't know, I just don't like snakes.
Well, in pagan culture, snakes are known as like cunning and like fertilization.
That's why they're pagans.
Wow. You're just on the roll today, dude.
Yeah, I know. Feeling
You
feisty
hateful
today.
person. Everyone's going to be offended. There's going to be the offended podcast
Oh, well.
with Nathan.
First he's hating on America, and now he's hating on religion.
I wasn't hating on America. Remember, I'm draped in an American flag right now. Don't forget.
Oh,
No,
I
it's
thought
a
you were
European
draped in
Union
a,
flag.
Brexit flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the Brexit flag. Well, that's cool. Do you have any other pets, or are you stopping it at 3?
I have some Plecostomus, and they're like the little algae eaters in a tank. I had a bigger
What?
tank, but when I moved, I couldn't bring the huge tank, so they hang out in like a little 10-gallon tank together. I call it the battle house because they like to like run around.
Are they fish?
They technically, I mean,
Are they like sea monkeys? Like
no.
little-
They're probably about like 4 inches long, and they kind of look like prehistoric fish. They just suck the algae off the tank.
Oh, the things that like stick to the side with a big
Yeah.
mouse. And
Uh-huh.
yeah, okay. So do you have
Okay,
other
yeah.
fish in there, or is it just those things?
No, unfortunately, I had a goldfish that passed away, so I only have
Oh.
the Plecostomus.
Rip.
So-
Did you get a little grave? Did you put a little gravestone in the bottom of the tank?
I should. Like there was a goldfish, and he died, and just where his remains are probably at.
That's funny.
All right, so you're a Twitch streamer.
Yes.
And you like to, from what I've seen, you like to stream a lot of retro games, which is fucking awesome because I grew up with a lot of the games that I saw you streaming. Now, of course, recently you've been doing Nier Automata, but on past streams I've seen, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, even Pokemon, which I didn't even know like people streamed Pokemon, but I think that's the coolest thing ever. That's badass. Like I love Pokemon. So is that typically the kind of games you like to stream is retro?
I started streaming with retro games because when I started Twitch, I was relatively shy, didn't know how to use the platform as much. So I'm like, well, instead of like fumbling with games I don't know what I'm doing, I could play the games I know what I'm doing and kind of work on building my stream in the process. So I don't have to worry about 2 things at once. I can just kind of do the retro and then figure out things and go as I go. The retro games, though, I grew up with video games. Like that was my main go-to. Probably like a 6-year-old hermit, but I would just play Super Nintendo. Big Nintendo fan. I grew up with Super Nintendo, Game Boy, and then I missed out on the GameCube, but I did get a Wii, and now I have a Wii U and a Switch. So it kind of, I stuck to that, like stick with what you know, but now I'm starting to branch out more to other games or other consoles or systems, PC, that sort. But it's just it's a nostalgic feeling playing those games. And if there's other people, I've had people on my channel, they're like, oh, I've never seen this game. I'm like, well, welcome to the show. I'm going to take you for a ride.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean, I like to watch retro games. I mean, there is a sense of nostalgia for sure.
absolutely.
Watching games like that you played back in the day. I don't have any of those systems anymore. I mean, I've switched completely off console to just PC gaming. So, I mean, other than getting like an illegal emulator, there's no way to really play it on your computer anymore.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Like I do have the consoles, but I don't have an HDMI port. So unfortunately, I think, yeah, I would have to use emulators on the stream, but I do have the games. I do have the consoles. So it's not like I'm illegally downloading them. I guess, would that be a loophole?
Right.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I'm incriminating myself here, but
Oh, don't worry.
We'll delete that part of the episode.
yeah, I skipped that part.
No, we'll go ahead and leave it in, and then we'll call the cops. It's cool.
Okay, well, Well, my address is.
So like I never actually like I love Pokemon, but I never played it on Game Boy. I never had a Game Boy. I
What?
wasn't lucky enough to have one. So I've always played it on emulator, even back in the day in like freaking 2001. You know, I had an emulator back then that could play it on the computer, and that's always how I've experienced Pokemon. So
Yeah, and in a way, it's not a bad thing. It kind of opens you up to like what the console has to offer. So, like when you're an adult, you can go and be like, "Oh, I remember playing Pokemon," even though I didn't have the console itself. It opened my eyes to like that world, and so I'm gonna go and get it, and then I'll be able to play it on the console. So, I mean, it's not totally a bad thing, and it's great because the emulator provides like turbo, so you don't have to spend so long level grinding. That's probably the one big thing
yes.
about the early retro games, like retro RPGs, is you have to level grind so much just to progress in the plot.
Oh yes, that is actually like when I was playing it on emulator, I was like, you know, I was using the speed obviously, and I was like, man, if I was actually playing this on Game Boy, it would take me twice as long to complete the game.
Oh, no
And
doubt.
not that it's not a fun game, but there's a lot of grindy parts where you just have to literally sit around through the grass and just fight and get your levels up,
Yeah.
which is probably the most boring part of Pokemon. But
And it gets to the point where like if I see another fucking Zubat, I swear to baby Jesus.
yeah. And I was never one of those people that would like go into a cave with a bunch of repels because I'm a dumbass. So I'd go in there and I'd have to run away from every single one. And yeah, it was annoying as hell.
Oh, there's I think it's the Moon Cave, the one you find like in red, blue, and yellow. It's the cave after
The first gym?
Yeah, I want to say after Pewter City, and then it's completely black, or is it the one after Cerulean? That's completely black. I think it's the one after Cerulean, after you
yeah.
fight Misty, and it's completely black. You're supposed to have the Flash HM before you go in there, but my young self didn't know that I needed that,
Just
so I went
stumbled
through the
through the
entire
dark.
cave. Yes, I did.
That's
And I was like,
terrible.
this is the worst game. I'm like, why don't they have any lights on in here? And I had other friends who were playing at the time. They're like, Tiffany, you need to go and get the HM over here. Well, good to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But those are things like that stick in your mind. Like it brings you back to like your 7-8-year-old self struggling through the hard parts that you could just breeze through now.
Yeah, and I mean on the emulator, I've also played other games like I'm a huge fan of the Fire Emblem series.
Oh, I've always wanted to play that.
Oh, they're so good.
It's really really good. I would actually, if you can somehow set it up, I wouldn't recommend an emulator on stream because that's probably against TOS.
Really?
I don't know. I don't know, but I would guess there's something against that. But if you could somehow get the game on a Game Boy or something, Fire Emblem Sacred Stones is like one of my favorite RPGs to go through. It's really really fun.
The story's really good too. If you enjoy actual story driven RPG games, like it's, you know, the old Game Boy format, but it tells a pretty good story. It's actually really interesting.
All she plays is RPGs, dude. Why would she not enjoy it? What the hell?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm open to suggestions. I mean, if I've come across RPGs where I'm like, this is garbage. I'm like,
for sure.
It's not for me. But
well, what's a game that you would say is garbage?
Oh god, I think I tried. Like, I'm honestly not shitting on the Final Fantasy franchise at all whatsoever. It's a fantastic like series of games, but I tried, for the love of God, I tried so many times to play Final Fantasy 3 and I just could not get through it. I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I'm going.
Well, I mean, people listening may hate us for this, but neither of us are huge Final Fantasy fans either.
Nope.
Sorry. And I think the reason Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy are very similar games in a sense, except Fire Emblem, how it plays is a lot more like Final Fantasy Tactics. If you've ever played that.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot more like that instead of like, it's more of a chessboard than like turn-based combat with your moves.
Right. You have to be strategic. It's kind of like D&D where you have to like You have
Right.
this many moves left, or you have to do like be
It's a
strategic
lot like
about it.
that.
It's an RPG, but it's a strategy RPG.
Right.
I actually think that's why I liked it so much, because it's like D&D. Like if you've ever played XCOM,
I have
which
not.
it's pretty much like a futuristic version of Fire Emblem in a way, but
Okay.
it's where you gain characters throughout the story in your lineup of who you can use for a level,
Mhm.
and if they die, they're gone, like for the rest of the story.
Oh no.
Yep.
So yeah, I did a lot of like saving and cheating and going back, but whatever. No one has to do
Blasphemy.
that. I think everyone does that if they lose their favorite character.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm guilty as well.
But yeah, it's a really fun game. I would definitely recommend checking it out. But yeah, Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy 7 and even 3 and 9 and all the ones that people talk up, they do have good storylines. I'm not saying the storylines are bad. I just hate the gameplay style. Even 15 that just came out, like it's a beautiful looking game, but then I look at like the gameplay and combat and I'm just like, this shit again. Like three of us in a circle, just like using a move, and then the next person goes. It's like cock block the whole time. I just don't like it.
Oh, and then you wouldn't like Chrono Trigger or Seventh Saga or Breath of Fire.
That, like I said, not that I don't like those games, but the storylines are great on like Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy. But the gameplay is where I can't get on board. If they made like a visual novel, I'd be happy to like, go through it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I don't know. I haven't really played Final Fantasy. There's a guy I like to watch on YouTube, but he goes through like a bunch of the old games, old RPGs, and he actually plays through them and, goes over the story and all that kind of stuff. And I sit there and I'll watch him play them, and I'm just like, how do you sit here and play this? Like, I think we talked about this with one of our other guests, but like the older graphics, like I just can't get into. Like, I just can't sit there and play like the outdated games. It's just boring to me. So I have to play the newest thing, with all the 3D animation, trying to go back and play Final Fantasy when you're walking around steps. It's almost like platform gaming. It's not for me. So
I think it depends. Like, there is certain old games where I look at it and I'm like, this looks like ass. It looks like Dusty the Asshole Rabbit right now.
Dusty the Asshole Rabbit. I would not recommend.
But like, for example, like on episode 2 with Nox, I talked about the original Legend of Zelda, like the gold plated cartridge for the NES. That game looks like ass. It's a fun game. It's good to go through once, but like I can't get on board again. Now, when you go a little bit further into the Super Nintendo, where like what you played on stream, which was Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, I actually love the art style of that game. I can get on board and I can actually go through it. Even nowadays, I could sit down and play that game and have fun.
Right.
So it depends on the game.
Like, you know what you're getting yourself into. You know it's going to be 8-bit. Like, you're not expecting phenomenal graphics because it was, 1993?
Probably.
I want to say 93.
There is a thing, though. I mean, like, yeah, all of them, you can tell they're pixels, but some of them just look good. Like, even okay, like Pokemon Red, of course, looks bad. But when you get to like Silver and a little bit above, it actually starts looking decent. And that's why when like Leaf Green and Fire Red came out, they were like really good versions of the originals.
Right.
Absolutely.
So it's all based on art style, not necessarily how many like bits they could use. It's just some games took it the wrong way and it just looked like ass.
Well, like they rushed it. Like we're more concerned about this, that, and the other instead of like what it's going to look like to people.
Yeah, it's almost like they, not to like down anyone just coming out of college on an art degree, but like, someone that's experienced can make it look real nice, and then someone like can make it look like E.T. looks like fucking dog shit.
Well, did you hear about the urban legend that turned out to be true? Like they took all the ET cartridges and buried them out in the desert.
Yeah, we talked about that on episode 2 as well. Yeah, that that was true, and it was in the desert, and there was like hundreds of them, or
where they
thousands or
belong.
something that
Like
were thrown
utter
away.
shame.
Yeah, it was. If you watch a video on that game, and I watched a documentary and it showed some footage, and I was like, holy shit, this looks like Pong with like a square with arms.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
going
it's
through
the hottest
a
trash.
path. It's the hottest trash ever. Yeah, it's retarded. I can't say that word anymore,
Yeah, that's
but
incorrect
It's
language.
frowned upon.
it is mentally ill. This game is mentally ill. Uh, but yeah, like there's just certain games, and Legend of Zelda is a good one. I like the newer Pokemon games, but I agree there's some old ones like their original Mario that also looks bad. But I mean, it's to
Yeah.
each their own.
The platform game. I hate platforms. It's probably just because I'm bad at them, like general all around, just bad at all platform games. Like trying to jump on top of stuff. I don't know how I do it in current 3D 64-bit gaming, but when it comes to 2D jumping on top of a ledge, I can't do it.
See, 2D is the easy one. You start getting into like three-dimensional space and you're like, where the hell am I? Where's the platform at? And am I in the right position?
Right?
Wait another 20 years until VR is like mainstream, and then try to fucking jump on something.
There's no way. Like
There's going to be so many broken bones.
oh yeah. Like when
You're
it,
gonna jump and like my hip, I'm down. Like
Shoot.
I've
yeah,
fallen
like,
and I can't get up. Friggin'
Get my
press your
life
little
alert.
like get my life alert.
My grandma's an app now.
like once gaming becomes exercise, I'm out. Like I'll find some other hobby to secure. Like if I wanted to run around,
I think that's
go
gonna be the next step is gonna be where it's exercise. But I think probably past our time, there will they will come out with something that works with your neurons, or you're like thinking and it happens in game. That's where I want to get to. That'd be badass.
They already
But
have
I don't think.
trackers.
that's
Well,
crazy.
they do, and they did. There's this thing I saw on YouTube. It's like it's not a helmet, but it's like these little cords with pads on the end that go around your head, and it's supposed to track your neurons somehow. I don't know, but like they designed a little program for it where the person is looking at the screen, and when there's like a cube on the screen, and when they think like, oh, I want the cube to get bigger, all of a sudden it starts getting bigger on the screen.
That's messed
just from
up.
what they're thinking. And I'm like, holy shit, like it's coming. Like it's gonna happen.
We'll see
I mean,
it one day. We might not be able
Yeah.
to play it, but we'll see it.
Yeah, I mean that's how VR started. You know, at first it was little simple shit like that, and now I mean there's the Vive, and there's actually pretty good games you can get with VR. But I think it's in the works. Maybe in the next 20 years, like I said, maybe it'll be a thing. But I don't know.
I'm not all for technology advancing that far. Eventually, we're gonna have robots running everything. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, like Bill Burr, the comedian. Like he said, he's like, you know, we should have stopped around 1995. I think we were good then, and we shouldn't have just gone past that. I don't know if I agree with that, but I thought that was funny.
I don't know. I saw a video somebody posted on Facebook the other day. You've been seeing those videos of the robots that those guys are making, and they can like jump on top of the box and they can push them over and they'll stand back up and they're doing backflips and shit. Well, they posted a video the other day. This stupid robot opened up a door and walked outside. I was like, nope, that's it. Like
That's
humanity is going down the dark slope, and it's going to be run by robots in about 15 years. It's going to be iRobot.
I don't necessarily think that's a possibility. Well, it's a possibility.
They opened the fucking door, dude. It walked
No,
outside on its own.
I realize that, but it's programmed to do that. It's not like it learned to do that. So
AI is
that's what I'm
coming.
saying is like, I mean, eventually they're going to be able to program something like a brain where it can learn. And
I think
yeah,
you already have learning AI with voice recognition and stuff.
they do in a sense. It's not as advanced as people think it is.
Mhm.
At least what's out in the public. But like, but there was another video I saw where, not a video, I read an article that said they taught these two computers how to communicate. Like
Okay.
they started talking to each other in English because that's what they programmed, is for them to speak in English. But they left them alone for like a couple of days, and when they came back, they were speaking in their own code because it was more efficient.
That's crazy.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, they were speaking in their own language because it was more efficient. Because I mean, obviously, our computers work in zeros and ones, and the reason is because that's just very simple. We can't comprehend it because it'd take forever for our brains to know that, but it's like a really fast way for them to communicate. So, I don't know. I think it's probably a possibility in the future, but I think we'll have it enough under control to where what happens instead of AI taking over is it's going to become more of a Iron Man kind of thing where it's like, I'm going to enhance myself and I'm going to have fucking robot legs.
I'm down for
badass.
that.
Like I'm going to be able to live forever because I don't need new body parts because I have fucking metal all over me. Like that'd be badass.
Yeah.
And you just keep your brain inside of like a metal container
Right.
inside the robot. But I don't know.
Or like Bicentennial Man, they'll have it backwards. Like, oh, I want to be a human.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah,
you don't. We break.
Yeah, AI takes over and they're like, I want to be a human. They start like cutting up people, like using our body parts for them. That'd be fucked up.
Like, you have 2 arms. You don't need both of them.
So yeah, let's get off of that topic and go back to Nintendo because that's a little too dark. So what would you say, retro or not, any game, what's your favorite Nintendo game?
My favorite Nintendo game. Shoot.
It doesn't have to be Nintendo actually, but I'm assuming since you said you were a Nintendo kid, I'm guessing it's a Nintendo game, but it could be a new PC game. I don't know.
Well, the first retro RPG that I ever played was on the Super Nintendo, and it was called The Seventh Saga by Enix. This was before they were Square Enix.
Oh,
And it was super, super old. I didn't finally beat it until I was probably 22. But I had a lot of fun growing up, and like me and my friends knew how to play it. So I'd be like, hey, can you get me past this guy and then give the game back to me? And so he'd get past like the first hard boss that I couldn't get past. And then I would be able to go on and like, it'd be a lot easier for me because he leveled me up, like, kind of not OP, but leveled me up enough to where I can, do my thing. And it was really nice because my friend was my age, and then he had an older brother who's played the game. So he'd give it to his older brother, and he would kind of set it up to where I could play it. And I really fell in love with the characters and like how the game progressed and how the storyline unfolded. So that's kind of what brought me into RPGs, is because it tells a story and then you get to participate in it. So it kind of resonates more within you.
right.
You feel like you're part of the story and you helped save the kingdom or whatever game that you're playing. So it kind of hits home more for me, RPGs versus like a puzzle game. Like, oh, I beat the puzzle, but who made the puzzle is the existential question,
Yeah. For me, I mean, RPG games are great. And you said that game was called The Seventh Saga.
Mm-hmm. That's correct.
I've never heard of it, but
A lot
I'll
of
have to
people
look into
haven't.
it.
A lot of people haven't. I think my dad might have picked it up at a garage sale way back in the day, and since then I was playing it.
I mean, I don't know when Square Enix was Enix, but it sounds like the 1920s. So I don't know where you're from.
It was just like when the screen pops up, it's like a little pink purple E that kind of goes and does a little swirl, and it says Enix on the bottom in Courier New, and then it goes to the game. There's no like other people that helped with it. It was just Enix.
That sounds familiar. Like I feel like I've seen that image somewhere before, but I can't think of what it is. I may be thinking of the E for everyone or something, or I don't know. But
Yeah, and Square Enix now, I mean, they make the Final Fantasy games. Obviously, that's what they're most popular for. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Square Enix. But anyway, so the Seventh Saga sounds like a fun game. I'll definitely have to check it out.
You don't have to play
as far
it.
as
I'm not forcing you to play it. You don't have
no,
to.
I know. But no, I actually, when I did the episode with Lars, he suggested Doki Doki Literature Club, and I did go
my
through
god,
that.
that game fucked me up.
It was, I will say this, it was a really good game. The last half, the first half, it was almost unbearable, and I almost turned it off.
Same.
So
I was
so
streaming
for
it, and I was like, sorry guys, and they're like, no, just wait.
yeah, that's what everyone kept saying, and I knew that it had a horror aspect, and Lars had already told me that the first like fourth of it sucks. So I was like, man, let's just hurry up here. Let's get to the fucking horror. But it ended up being really good, and I'm glad I got to experience it.
Mhm.
But so I mean, I'll definitely look into it and see what it's all about. But as far as RPG games, I enjoy RPG games, and I enjoyed them a lot more when I was younger.
Mhm.
Like I remember playing Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time when I was like 8, and I remember crying because I couldn't beat the water temple,
Oh god, the fucking water temple.
and I had to like I cried until my older brother beat it for me. And then, of
Aw.
course, since then I've beat it again, but
No, you
by
haven't.
myself.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No, you
I beat
haven't.
Ocarina of Time like 3 times. It's a great game. But nowadays I've definitely gone more towards like I love RPGs, but I like multiplayer games. I like
Mhm.
socializing. I like talking to other people and playing with my friends, and
Mhm.
that's why I don't play single player RPGs as much anymore. As fun as they may be, I know I'd have a blast. I just have more of a blast when it's with friends.
Oh yeah, no doubt. The reason why I played single player RPGs is not because I didn't have friends. I had friends growing up.
She had no friends.
It was just me and my Super Nintendo. I had 2
You can't talk
controllers.
like
They were my
that.
friends.
You
Oh, I
can't
can't
talk
talk
like
like
that. It's politically incorrect, okay?
Okay, so yeah, I just pissed off a whole group of people. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I don't care. Oh, that's funny.
I wasn't insulting intelligence. I was just, trying to be a nerdy child that didn't have friends. Where were your minds at? But yeah, because I would like to sit in my room at night. I was gonna have my friends over, and I would play games constantly. Like during the summer, my mom would be like, "Go outside, go play with your brother and sister,
I
go ride
hated
bikes
that.
or something." Oh my god! I'm like, Mom, it's hot outside, and you're hogging all of the air conditioning.
Yep.
So, yeah, let's see. I played a lot of other games that weren't just RPG. I would have my friends over, and we'd play Killer Instinct, and they taught me different combos and stuff, and then we'd get together and play Return of the Jedi. It was Star Wars Return of the Jedi, and we had like this entire huge list of password codes that they give you at the end of each level, and we're like, Mom, don't lose this. We need it. Just put it on the fridge.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is all of this? Is a word like word search? What is it? And I'm like, Mom, no, it's cheat codes, not cheat codes. Mom, it's what, passwords? Passwords. I think that's what they were called at the time, passwords. But I was like, Mom, just don't lose them. She's like, okay, fine.
Yeah,
so,
I mean,
like,
the older generations just don't
They don't
get it.
understand. Yeah.
They don't get the gaming at all. Like my parents, I know Nathan's parents, they look at gaming, they're like, what the fuck is this generation doing? And then on the other end, you see like these really high-end streamers making way more than any other job you
Way
could get
more.
out there.
oh, living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, living the absolute dream. That would be amazing. But yeah, they just don't understand what gaming is all about.
Like my
But,
parents.
I was a hermit, so
My parents still to this day, like, how old am I? 26, gonna be 27. My parents still, my dad will call me. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, on my computer. He's like, is that all you do with your life? Is it you just go to work and you come home and you go on your computer? I was like, yeah, Dad, pretty much. And I have that conversation with him every time he calls. And I don't know when they're going to get it, but they'll figure it out eventually.
yeah, that's the same thing. Same exact thing with my parents. They're like, you should stay off the computer more. And I'm like, well, now I have an excuse because I have a podcast.
Right.
But
Oh, you would not believe the look on my dad's face when I told him I played video games online. He was like,
I can imagine.
like
yeah.
I just insulted his entire existence. I'm like, Dad, no, it's not what you think. He's like, you're a girl on a webcam on the internet. I'm like, no, Dad, it's not that kind of site.
Twitch.tv/myfreecams.com.
Oh,
Hey, careful. Careful. Twitch's TOS is changing, okay? They're going to clean up Twitch. They're going to get rid of that, all right?
Okay. I guess they're going to shut down my podcast, too.
They're going to be like, okay, Tiffany, since you're a female, you need to wear this burqa.
I see it going that way.
Because you can't look at people. You can't look at the camera. You can't make eye contact because it's offensive.
Mm-hmm.
You get on with like a Victorian dress with like a, like one of the Victorian dresses with like the poof on the bottom. It's like that's what you have to wear so it doesn't show a single like inch of skin.
You can't show those ankles.
Yeah, those ankles. They'll get people going, you know.
That's such a mess.
Yeah. I don't know what Twitch is doing. I mean, obviously, I still love Twitch.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Watching people on Twitch, but their TOS seems to be getting stricter and stricter by the month, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And it's pushing certain people away. Like, you know who Dr. Disrespect is?
Yes.
Yeah, he announced that he's going to be streaming on his own platform now. He's like leaving.
I don't know if
Twitch.
He's announced that he's leaving Twitch. Like he threw it out there. He's like, look, you know, if it keeps going this way, I'll just start my own platform and stream on my own platform. Which, I mean, it's understandable. You know, the more and more that they push all these things, it's kind of like going to school. Like they tell you have to do this, you have to do this, and eventually it just pushes people away, I think, personally. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't deal with Twitch. Like I just watch it and I don't stream on there. Whether I do in the future or not, I don't know. But it's all I hear from Twitch streamers right now is about the new TOS and how, you know, they just make memes out of it right now. But who knows? Yeah,
I don't know what I'm allowed to do and not do. And after jump through so many hoops, I was like, well, I might as well just go to my 9 to 5 and jump through hoops there.
Exactly.
But,
hey Nathan, I have an idea for you.
Uh-oh.
You're gonna get on Twitch. You're gonna lay down with no shirt on with Cheetos, and you're gonna talk to your chat all day.
There's already a guy that does that in the IRL section. And like, I have a feeling that's going to be against TOS now. Like he's not going to be able to do that anymore. And there was thousands of people that would watch that kid too. Like it was insane.
Yeah. It's like, it's entertaining. That's what it's all about.
That's what Twitch is about, is entertainment, and they're taking it away. I don't know. I guess it has to do with all the female streamers that are showing cleavage. All it is to me is a bunch of guys that are whining and crying because there's good-looking females out there that are taking away their viewers, and they're having a pity party about it. And I don't get it. But like, if that's what they want to do, let them. As long as they're not showing like actual nudity, I don't see what the problem is. But
I think the thing was a lot of those girls were getting banned because they were promoting their Patreons that had actual nudes on there.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that.
That would definitely be an issue. Yeah. That would definitely be an issue.
So,
I mean, I didn't have a problem with the so-called, like, I don't know if I can call
titty
them
streamers.
I don't know if I can call them that anymore, but like, I didn't have an issue with it. I'm like, if you want to watch that, that's fine, but don't expect me to do that because I'm a female on Twitch, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know where TOS is going, but I guess we'll see in the following months. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move to our random thought of the day segment to kind of close out the show. So I have one that, you know, was told to me by my co-host wasn't appropriate.
It could be against TOS.
You never know.
Against
you never
TOS.
know.
Get the hell out of here. I don't find it inappropriate at all, but it depends on how you take it, I guess. I guess you'll know right when I say it. So my random thought of the day is, if saying you suck to someone is an insult, shouldn't saying you blow be a compliment? But
it has no correlation with each other.
Yeah. Okay.
It could in a sexual term.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess in a sexual term, but like, you know, sucking and God damn it. So I guess this is where it got
little red faced.
So sucking in air. All right. And blowing out air are opposites.
Right.
So if you say you suck to someone, you blow would be the opposite. So it'd be like, oh, dude, you know, you tap them on the shoulder. You're like, you blow, dude. Like, keep
It sounds
blowing,
like an insult.
You know?
It still sounds like an insult.
That's because it is an insult, but that's what I'm asking. Why is it an insult? Like, shouldn't it be the opposite?
I mean, it would be the opposite in like a bubble blowing competition, but we've just, as a society, we've deemed it as part of our cultural like slang.
Go to a fucking like clown with balloons. You're like, dude, you know how to fucking blow. Like, you blow, man. You're just like, all right, thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, John.
So yeah, that was all I had.
It's a pretty good one.
Anyways, all right, Tiffany. Well, thanks for coming on. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Talking bullshit.
In the wind, blowing the wind.
Yeah, we were good at blowing the wind.
If people want to find you on social media or Twitch, how can they do that?
My main go-to, if I'm not on Twitch, is Twitter. So it's Twitter under my same screen name. So twitter.com/asapclutch with the X's on the side. And if you want to watch me play on Twitch, 9 times out of 10, it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. We start on Mountain Standard Time. But that's subject to change with school and stuff. But until then, I mean, I always make announcements on my Twitter. So make sure to if you're going to follow me on Twitter, because I make announcements there. Like when I'm going live, when I have to cancel, or if I'm just updating like what I'm eating today. But yeah, I mainly just stay on Twitter and Twitch. Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, please check out the Actions Per Minute Network at actionsperminute.net to find us on social media at the bottom of the page. Email us at cold1podcast@gmail.com. If you have any comments, or you can simply look for us on Twitter, which is at cold1podcast. And lastly, if you like this podcast, please go to iTunes or whatever podcast app you use and like and subscribe to the Cold One with the Boys podcast. Jesus Christ, I said podcast like 16 times.
Podcast.
Anyways, thanks, guys, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.